For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning and welcome to Talking Horses. He's the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling as we kick off the final weekend of racing here, a three-day weekend at Belmont Park before we head up to Saratoga. But a lot of good action coming up. Unfortunately, with the rain, we are sloppy and we are off the turf, but the rain has cleared out, and that's the good news, and things should clear up. And looking forward to a very big day tomorrow with 3 stakes and the 2 Grade 1s, the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby. We do start the show on a sad note. I'm sure most people or many people know by now that our very good friend and mentor, Harvey Pack, and somebody who touched the lives of so many people in horse racing. He passed away at age 94 a couple of days ago. Harvey, a legendary guy, 94 years old, was at NYRA for 25 years. I met him in '76. In a lot of ways, he was the father of so many things that we do on television right now. He was, whether it's Prattles, pre-race, his show that he began in around 1980, the Thoroughbred Action Show, was a legendary show, a show much copied, but never never perfected the way Harvey
Often imitated,
did.
seldom duplicated.
Right. And for those of us that were fortunate enough to know Harvey, he was more entertaining in person than he was at work. And I knew Harvey a long, long time. I met him in '76, and those years I worked with him at Ciro's, many of you may have seen the Ciro's seminars, the Daily Race Form seminars, were some of the best times of my life. And he had a wonderful life, but that doesn't mean that we won't miss him, but we also will remember him forever. I'll remember Harvey forever, and I imagine many of you will as well.
No question about it. You'd sign the contract, knowing him as well as you did. I didn't know him as well as you did. I knew him well enough. You'd sign the contract for Harvey's life right now, 94, and the fun he had. And you said something on HRRN with me. You were nice enough to come on to remember him on Wednesday, right? Harvey in real life. I think the best thing about Harvey was this was his real life. Who Harvey was on air was who Harvey was outside of the racetrack, and it was growing up in and around the Aqueduct. I mean, I remember the Aqueduct office the most, and the cast of characters down there. It was just, and like you said,
legendary.
I mean, we're probably not doing what we do, or to the extent that we do it, if it wasn't for Harvey, because he really changed the way horse racing was covered. It was always a little more buttoned up, and Harvey came in,
he made it
and
fun.
Harvey was himself. He was a horse player.
He made it fun.
He made it fun.
Yeah. He got that the game was fun, and he had a sense of humor about everything, including himself and everybody else. And
Especially about himself.
He made fun of all of us, equally. A friend of mine who got annoyed. He said, "Oh, he was making fun of me." I said, "He loves me. He makes fun of me nonstop."
Every
I said,
day.
"It's the same thing. It's not. Never take it personally. He was an original, and we all in the game was better for having Harvey Pack in it, and that's an understatement. He'll be missed, but he had a great life. Harvey Pack died this past week at age 94. We'll get right into the action. You head over to NYRA Bets. Harvey would appreciate having that end and get right into promoting something.
No question about it. He wouldn't have loved all the attention, but he would have loved us telling him to go sign up for a new NYRA Bets account right
with
after
a retired horse in the picture. Performer. Use the promo code MATCH200, and we will match them to $200 of your initial deposit. Play through NYRA Bets, support the game, get ready for Saratoga, sign up for NYRA Bets. What else do we have here, Francisco? We have that $10 bonus. Hit a $10 double or more in the first race and get a $10 bonus. Also, we have a special betting challenge to close out the Belmont weekend. You have until 5 o'clock today to sign up. You can go to NYRA.com/contests. It's an online-only contest, $3,000 buy-in, the Belmont Derby betting challenge. And finally, America's Day at the Races today, 1 to 5:30, covering the action from here with the usual crew. All right, Anth, we're off the turf. Feels like we got through most of the meet without being off the turf, save Memorial Day weekend, and then came crashing down where we've been off the turf now pretty much for 3 of the last 5 days. But all things considered, we escaped the worst of the weather throughout the meet.
We did.
And this too shall pass. Race number 1, the entry is going to be heavily favored. And Anthony, you've decided to take an entry despite the fact that all you do is say, I can't bet the Cantermachi barn. They're having a terrible meet, which you're not wrong about. But you still...
I couldn't get away from them.
You still can't help yourself. Okay, is Irad's out this weekend.
Here we go.
I'm annoyed.
Here we go.
I can't make fun of you for picking Irad and then pick on myself in the next race.
Here we go. Right. Yeah. No, you can't harass me for that today. Yeah,
they're both. They could run 1-2.
They can run 1-2.
Right.
I like Wicken Indeed a little bit more than there's a Storm Brewing. There's a Storm Brewing since the one race off the claim wasn't particularly good.
He's also proven better going longer.
He's also good on a wet track, so he gets both today. He gets long.
It's a very tough entry to get past.
It's a tough entry to get past.
The problem with Wicken Indeed is the claim from Asmussen, and he ran fine last time. I'm not knocking his last race. They're the ones to beat Anthony, and they're not going to be 8-5 or 9. If they're 8-5 or 9-5, we'll get to the 5, who I kind of missed. It seems like you didn't miss at all, and by the seashore. I'm not against the entry at all. I just didn't want to pick them on top at what I think will ultimately be a very, very short price. And keep in mind, in their case, David made them the 8-5 morning line, knowing that they both could only run if it came off the turf. So that's a line that's supposed to stick. Now, as far as by the seashore, I probably was remiss and should have had the horse 4th, but he's coming off of 2 subpar efforts, and he really is a better turf horse. So I worry that getting onto the wrong surface, even though he has run well in the dirt, that maybe his form has declined, and now he's on his 2nd surface.
I don't disagree with the regression, but here, I'll give it to you.
The pick and slim.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
It was off like 11-month layoff last time. So he's gone all that time, and he actually shows. I mean, I know he didn't run as well as he had in the past.
Perfect trip in a slow race.
But he showed a little. I mean, it's 11 months, Andy. He showed a little life,
what?
And now it's an off-the-turf race where, I mean, yes, the entry is for a cold barn, and
I should have had him 4th.
You have the fuzzy.
I should have had him 3rd or 4th. You're not wrong. He can absolutely win. I don't think the promo code's a fuzzy. I don't think there's anything fuzzy about him at all. I think it's ludicrous that he's double digits in this race. He's a dirt horse.
Right, but he was entered for turf, so David was making that line based on turf.
But he's a dirt horse. Now, Joel Rosario was originally named. It is Heeman Harkey, but he just ran 3 figures in the low to mid-70s with Heeman Harkey riding him. So it's not as though he hasn't been running competitive races. What price would you take on Ragtime Blues in this race? How about Color Me Potsy?
A short,
right?
Name it. Yep.
I mean, I know they beat him by a solid 5 lengths and 3 and 5 lengths respectively, but why can't he be competitive in this spot?
He can.
I thought he was very much
live
in here, and I don't mind taking a bit of a price. And I think he's a bigger price because it's almost like, it was a turf race, but it's a dirt race, and his last 3 races are good enough, and I'm not going to go against that.
I'm going to give you here's the thing back-to-back, too.
Ooh.
When you include
I think you get punished a lunch. If you say here's the thing twice in one race, I think that costs you a lunch.
When you are looking, and listen, I'm going to keep saying it, Cantermachi just aren't having a good time of it right now, but they know what they're doing. It's gonna change.
They know they're having a terrible meet.
When it doesn't, but when it's not changing,
it's going to change.
It's an off the turf race, and I mean, this horse is a dirt horse and an off the turf race. So I mean, and he's now with the fact that, and I had Rosario, now Harkey's aboard. He's not gonna. I mean, Joel Rosario off the turf. This horse was gonna get pummeled at the windows. And now, with Harkey, I know he's going to still take action,
sure of that, but okay.
I don't think he's going to take any money.
He has been very big prices in his recent races, but he hasn't been in this kind of off-the-turf race. I think he's the logical alternative to the entry. Race number 2, scheduled dirt race in 1 1/16. There's 2 major players in here, and you and I could have put them in either order. We'll start with Supreme Aura. For what it's worth, I didn't put it up. Rudy Rodriguez has solid enough numbers, just 22% with 85 starters, but a 221 ROI with horses off of wins and claiming races and dirt routes. He got a very good trip in this race, but he did deliver. But he also did get a very good trip. It was a fast pace.
He got a great trip. I will say this, though. This is a horse who in the past has had a little hang in him. And he finished the job here. I wonder how much those blinkers helped. It was the highest fig he's ever earned. I think those blinkers really, really helped last time. And if they did...
Like they helped Gufo?
I think the blinkers helped Gufo.
No, they didn't.
I think the blinkers made him take his command from Joel a little bit better.
I tell you what, since you don't believe me in these things, ask Maggie what she thinks. He ran the exact same figure. He acted like a ridiculous goofball in the stretch. The blinkers made absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Okay.
I don't know how
I thought they made a little difference on the far turn. I know he's never engaged like that earlier.
Don't believe me. Ask Maggie what she thinks.
Anyway, in his instance last time, and this is a horse, he's lost by a neck, he lost by a nose, he lost by a neck another time. It's not on the
He
form.
ran an 89 buyer 4 back with the blinkers on.
Without the blinkers.
Without blinkers. So
yeah, he did.
He
ran well behind the Heirloom Kitten, but I kind of think it helped him finish the job last time.
Okay, I don't, but okay. I don't think he ran any better. In fact, some figures have him running worse. But he had a very good trip last time. I just think I prefer Heirloom Kitten here. We'll take a look at him. His last race, he lost to Chris and Dave, who took a brutal beat and an odd off the turf race where some oddballs on Saturday ran better than they possibly could have based on their PPs. I thought he ran well. He does have a decision over Spreemore. They're the two. We both put him on top. One of them's probably going to win. I preferred him. So did you.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say.
Nothing else really to say. And I thought Extraordinary Jerry was a little bit of a interesting, but he's scratched. So yeah, it's down to those two for me. I think it's a long way back.
He's not so extraordinary. They may change his name actually to Not So Extraordinarily Jerry. Jerry.
Average Jerry.
Not even average.
Ordinary Jerry.
Ordinary Jerry.
Ordinary Jerry.
Ordinary. Yeah, I like that. Ordinary Jerry. For Facility Jerry. No, you don't watch Seinfeld.
I don't watch Seinfeld.
He's so ridiculous. No. Race number 3 is off the turf. There are 4 running. I left 4 picks up. I definitely have the winner in my top listed on there. I wanted to have.
Anthony wants to be able to go to Saratoga, stand on Union Avenue, and say, "Had the winner, had the winner."
So we'll put up Star Command's last race, and you're going to put a horse that Chug's only running the turf on top in this race, who's going to be favored. Okay.
Think he's going to be favored over? I don't think she'll be favored over.
Okay, I will bet you one lunch that the three is favored over 4.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
They're going to see 3
We're at
dirt
74.
wins. Okay. They're going to see 3 dirt wins. They're going to see that this horse is never on the turf.
They're going to see a horse that's running faster figures, that has speed. And I actually was going to pick this horse in the turf because I thought her speed was going to be a real advantage over Love and Thunder and Made in Italy, who are going to be the horses that would take money as well.
Yeah, listen, she's got a dirt.
I put her second.
If she does, she's supposed to have, she's supposed to control in here, and I thought she was, at the very least, you don't see any published works, but at the very least, she's trained over wet tracks because Shug's not afraid to send them out there when it's wet.
I wonder who David thinks would be favored in this race. You're watching, David. Let me know what you think about that. I think Star Command will be favored. You might be right. I prefer the 4, who just has the better dirt races, can handle a wet track, has been in good form. I thought was logical, but Star Command's obviously dangerous. Hard to make a strong case for the other 2 here.
Very difficult.
Halo City is supposed to beat them, so you use the fuzzy speed type in Star Command, and you use the number 4. And you're not wrong; it does have a pace advantage. Though Pendolino's not going to be that far out of it.
No, you don't.
I think she'll hustle, but she's faster than Pendolino. Yeah. All right.
And you hope Joel, if you like the 3-star Command, you just hope Joel's aggressive and tries to put some separation.
Well, he's got to grab her by the neck and pull her back if he's not going to be in front in this race. She's just faster than those horses. Race number 4, but in these forest fields, often they bunch up, which I don't think is to her advantage. Well, I like the one, Kazi's Attitude in this race, so I'm wondering if isn't running because of the wet track, because it looked like the one in the entry that was the faster one and had the better pedigree of the 2.
And the bigger Tomlinson for the wet track. Ooh, this is very interesting that this one scratches.
Big Tomlinson.
Big Tomlinson. Ooh. You know what they say about horses with big Tomlinsons, right?
Big Tomlinson, big feet. What did you? We both picked the 5.
We both went to Rodney.
Well, yeah. I would have changed my picks if I had looked and seen you had the same picks as me. I didn't need to do that this race. What do you like about Rodney?
These maker horses have been coming in from Kentucky and running well. This horse is a nice work tab at Keeneland. Have to looking for trouble.
Who won besides the first or the other day?
The first or the other day, and the first or 2 firsts, no?
Oh yes, that was New York bred.
The off the turf one, yeah.
Yeah, beat me a nose on the trainer. You told me not to bet that won by a pole, and it's the horse. Right, I remember. The horse has fast works. Yeah. Run happy. He got some dam side pedigree. The dam herself was a solid enough runner. I picked this one on top as well. I'm going to use Spectral on the rail for your favorite trainer, Dermot Magner.
Okay.
I know you're excited to see him have a horse
like in. A pen.
I can pick it up, but thank you. I'm going to use Tony Dutrow. I didn't like the work. In fact, of the 2 works, the 2-year-old sale at Ocala, I thought the 4 Lord Brownie worked better than Bo in the back.
Bo in the back, yeah. Okay.
What's up with Bo? Is he in the back? Why is he in the back? Do we know?
I don't know where.
You've got the outside, too. You'll have those keen ices.
Is this the first one we've seen?
Oh, it's Rudy. Rudy.
Big Tomlinson. Huge Tomlinson. I like the gate work last time.
Okay. Keen ice. It looks like more of a turf pedigree, though, doesn't it?
Maybe a little distance.
Jillian Courage you pick because she's a half two. He's a half two.
The full two Courageous Girl.
Full. Excuse me. The other three falls couldn't run at all. All right.
See what Dave Donk firsts have been running as well.
We went in different directions behind Rotney. It kicks off the pick six.
Yes.
$1 minimum, 15% takeout. Race number 5 kicks off the late pick 5, and we're going to start with the horse to beat that you like, the 9 April Antics. Why don't you talk about that horse?
Debuted for Jimmy Ryerson last time out from an inside draw. She had post 2. Is it she? Yes, she had post 2.
It's PP regurgitation time?
No, I just wanted to make sure that
if you don't have the PPs at home, you're in luck.
Instead of post 1. Some days, man.
We don't regurgitate the PPs on Talking Horses.
Kind of, I felt like after a little bit of a bad break, it was... I think this horse is going to be forward today because the way she ran last time after the break, she reminded me of a filly that was not comfortable where she was. And I think she's going to want to be forward today. And listen, this is on the come a little bit.
This is voodoo.
I'm hoping she breaks, and I'm hoping she's forward. No, I'm serious. I'm hoping she's break. I'm hoping she's forward.
I obviously hope she breaks. She broke 3/4 of a length slow last time. Obviously, you hope she breaks. They usually do break better the second start.
Right, and that's what I'm hoping because I believe,
like I said, that makes her forward, but
I believe it,
not sure how you equate the two.
I believe the intent was to be forward last time, and after the break,
do you have some piece of information that leads you to that, or you're just making that up?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Doesn't make any sense to me, but okay.
Okay.
How about it? That was a race where the pace was relatively quick on paper, but it did hold up. Obviously, if she breaks more cleanly, she could be forward today.
And I like the fact that she's drawn outside today as well.
She's going to be the favorite, though.
You think so?
Well, she's supposed to be. She's running a 53 buyer, first time out, which makes her better than these. So, yeah. I prefer the horse you have second, Tootsie Song, and we'll take a look at her debut. She, too, broke a little bit slowly. She is the number 7 here. You're going to see her break about a half length slow. But she's going to encounter trouble after that. And you can see Joelle taking a hold of her at this point. And Richie likes to sometimes say that horses run with the emergency brake on. I don't know if this one had the emergency brakes on. I actually think she had the brakes on the entire race, to be honest with you. It just seems like she never... I mean, just watch her. Joelle's got a real hold on her at all points in this race, and it just never seemed like he had just a hammerlock on this horse the whole way. Now, obviously, your horse ran a much faster race than she did, and that's to her credit. But this horse, to me, ran like a horse where she's going to run a lot better in her second race because, frankly, I thought she ran like she needed a race.
Yeah, I thought about putting her on top. I did. She took an awful lot of dirt.
See, Joelle is asking her here.
Yep, when she gets into the clear, she runs a little bit. Yep. Yeah, no, I thought the 2 second-time starters were the way you wanted to go in here. I don't like I can't tell if Joelle's putting her behind those horses at the end of the race, or
she's lugging in a little bit.
She's lugging in a little bit.
Starter.
Yeah, she was, and then she finishes with the bunch.
I preferred her off that race, but I thought either one of those horses could win. The others are, know-it-all red. I thought Captivating Cara was a horse who would be a price who had a chance. I didn't see anybody else in here. I mean,
I think if you want a price in here, Captivating Cara is the.
What do we like about Hiya Harry?
Hiya
Harry. What do we like about him?
Hiya Harry?
Yeah.
Hiya Harry was Dave Donk, a little Dave Donk off the turf.
Hiya Harry is Edmund Davis.
Dropping. Say again.
Hiya Harry's Edmund Davis.
Why did I think this was Dave Donk?
I don't know. Like I said, I have asked you the question of whether or not there are hallucinogens involved in your handicapping.
No, not. Well, I shouldn't say not with this one.
We should ask David Donk. Is Edmund Davis your nom de plume?
He's not. I thought this was Dave Donk. Huh. What do you know? Off the top, I think
This, by the way, I just want to say this is maybe one of the greatest highlights of my entire.
They run these. They run these horses on turf. Part of
I got to move over a little because I'm out of the shot.
Yeah, you've been out of the shot.
Cameraman's busy though. He's got a couple of computers going on over there.
One of the things you've said a lot. One of the things you brought up a lot lately is all the turf races and how you see a lot of horses getting chances on the turf. I wonder if they run some of these firsters now.
You're big David Donk, and now you're coming up with a reason
no,
why you
no,
like the horse.
I think this is something to
You
talk
know
about.
what it really
I think
is?
this is something to talk about overall, because you're going to see a lot in Saratoga how maybe they just run these horses on whatever race comes up first.
Well, I tell you what you should do. You should make some stats on how horses do that make their debuts in turf sprints and come back in dirt sprints in their next start, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But until you've given me a stat on it, let's move on.
That's why I predicate things with I wonder.
Edmund Donk.
Like
I wonder. That's
David
what if you,
Davis.
If you
David Davis sounds
If you
better.
wonder, there's a way to find out. Look it up.
I like to.
You like to pontificate.
You think I'm into
and make-
hallucinogenics, so I mean, wondering kind of like takes me on that trip to Fantasyland. I enjoy it.
Anthony's actually the one who went to a lot of dead shows, not me. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the late pick 4.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, race number 6, off the turf.
Oh,
Okay, I have a question.
TT.
You liked
Yeah, you know me.
Dreams of Tomorrow if they left the horse in. Did you like this horse? No, you liked him the turf last time. Did you like this horse if they took it off last time, if they left the horse in?
I think I had the horse second or third.
Okay, well.
I just assumed when they scratched last week they were going to screw him again, but you know what Felix and Oscar say? You know what happens when you assume?
That was Felix, not Oscar. We'll take a look at Dreams of Tomorrow. Shug's horse really come to his own finally. This horse can run in the dirt, though. And I think it is fair to say that he's kind of improved as a racehorse in his recent 2 starts. And while he was a better turf horse than he was a dirt horse, it's not like he didn't run good dirt races. And I think that's one of the reasons Shug's encouraged to leave him on. He probably just got frustrated, He was hoping, this race came back. And you just don't know if this race is going to come back quite as easily at Saratoga. Maybe it oversubscribes. Maybe he doesn't get in. And Shug probably figured I'll try him in here, and the race comes back in a couple weeks at Saratoga. Maybe I'll run him back, you know what I mean? But I probably some sort of frustration since he catched him the other day. But I think he's dangerous in here. I've got him second. You've got him third, but both of us have Danny California on top.
Yeah, I mean, second off the Rudy claim, Danny California. I mean, he kind of is what he is, right? He shows up.
He's a thoroughbred.
He shows up more often than not, and when he runs in spots where he can win, he normally runs.
I don't know about that.
Runs a good rate. Really?
I mean, well, he didn't run that well 2 back. I don't care. He did in the turf. He didn't run in such great form. I was just hoping that he was the right horse because I didn't really like anybody here besides the 3 and 8. I didn't think anybody. I think Lost in Rome is very suspect of his last race. The Notas have not won a race in 2 weeks now, and they have been a very streaky barn at different times, and they seem to have gone a little bit cold. Not that he can't win this race because obviously he can. I have him 4th, as do you. I just thought Danny California might be the obvious horse, but I'm going to use the 8, Dreams of Tomorrow. What could you possibly like
I thought
about...
Blind Ambition was a little interesting.
Okay.
Dirt races were not spectacular, but they left them in. He'll be right behind Lost in Rome, I would imagine. He probably could get in front of Lost in Rome if he wants, but I don't imagine that's going to be the
Close.
case.
You're not wrong about that.
At the very least, you could say, well, you don't have Lost in Rome higher, and the Nota Barn's cooled off. This horse will be a big enough of a price,
Okay.
I think, to see if he'll wake up.
That's fair.
I don't really prefer Blewett. I thought Dreams of
isn't
Tomorrow
Blewett
would
going
come
to be
out.
forward? See, one of the things I like Danny California is you've got the 2 Notas, and I don't think they're going to be dueling, but one of them's going to be up front. But Blewett's very fast as well, and every bit as fast as those horses. And isn't Blewett going to... Who's riding Blewett?
That would be Manny Franco.
Manny's going to
Luis
go with
Saez
Blewett.
riding Danny California and Manny Franco riding Blewett. So there you go. Yeah, right. There's supposed to be some pace on for Danny California today, no question about it. I'm just hoping of the three that Blind Ambition's the one that gets taken off of it, and maybe at a price can get him into the.
But he's a speed horse that's a sprinter. So how's taking off it going to work? I'm going a mile. Maybe it does. I hear you. I mean, listen, I'm not. I don't think you're wrong to throw him in.
I think his tactics on the turf.
I'll have to look up his turf races.
I think his tactic on the turf have to change from his tactics on the dirt. Would have had to change. He was on the turf. He was going to go to the lead here, stretching out, I would imagine. And now I would.
Well, he was not. Yeah, I guess with Principal standing here, it was going to be close. Yeah, you're right. He would have had speed. Yeah.
Kind of have to change tactics, I think, if he wants to get a piece in here. Maybe they're leaving him in to leave him in. I don't know. He'll be the longest shot on the board. Try and get him in the gimmicks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Race number 7. Oh, this is kind of annoying. I would have changed some picks around. I should have looked at your picks. Well, and the reality is that the race has changed, and we'll look at Too Early and Daneberry running 2-3 the last time each one of these horses ran. And Daneberry with Daddy Knows has a real speed advantage unless they really send Seafoam. But I have to think they're going to send Seafoam because the only time that Seafoam has been successful is when they send him. Now, Danny California can stalk and win. And I probably would have gone 6-4 just to go the other direction rather than the same horse as you. I just thought Too Early made sense to pick these horses up. Obviously, you agree.
Now, here's the problem with...
Was that another here's the thing?
No, I caught myself. I was ready to switch my picks to Daneberry, who I originally have third. I assumed that Seafoam would come out on this racetrack because of his 2 wet track races. They're exponentially worse than anything.
Except he wasn't able to get the lead in those races.
Right.
So
but
that could be one
does he figure to get the lead over Daneberry? You know, and remember
he's
too,
quick.
you pretty much knew Daddy Knows was going to come out. He just ran Monday or Sunday.
He was entered in this race.
He was entered. He was entered Sunday. He was entered right after it was claimed.
And he was entered. So he could have run.
He could have run. Yeah, I was curious to see Seafoam in here, but like you said, I mean, you would have to imagine he's going to put some pressure.
Seafoam isn't competitive. Daneberry's going to be very tough to beat in the front end.
No question.
It's
no
4s
question
and
about
6s
it.
for me. 3 Jokers, who you have second, we'll take a look at him, and he beat Too Early in this race. The thing about it was he really had the run of this race, and he is not nearly as fast as either Seafoam or Daneberry, so he's going to have to be able to rate. But he did run well here. He did beat Too Early. I thought Too Early ran fine in this race. I thought he got a little lost in here, and he actually ran a competitive race. One of the reasons I liked him in a subsequent start.
He's more so 3 Jokers is a little more tactical, obviously, than Too Early is.
But
I think
he might be best off if he's very much forward, and it's going to be hard to be here.
Well, yeah, it'll be hard to be with the other 2, but maybe he's another one that can get that trip right behind the first couple of speed. One's inside of him, one's outside of him.
Not convinced that he's going to be able to rate significantly off horses. But obviously, his last race, a big step forward for him. It was 3 months ago, but it was a big step forward for him. He can win this race. I'm not saying he can't. All right. Not a lot to say about that crew.
It's an interesting race because if Seafoam doesn't show up, you have to give the advantage to Daneberry, but...
That's fair. But I think Seafoam will show speed in here.
He's going to have to. Like you said, it's the only time he runs well.
Race number 8 off the turf, unfortunately. I can't believe you picked this horse. I picked this horse thinking even his ridiculous love of Bill Mott, he wouldn't pick this horse. Well, I really needed to look at your picks because I would have made completely different picks just to have different horses to talk about. But go ahead. Talk about Always Late.
Bill ran this horse who had some success on the turf in the Gazelle.
But she was terrible in the Gazelle.
She was terrible in the Gazelle. It's twofold with her for me. She is not running against Search Results and Army Wife. And she's getting her Lasix back.
But she got beat 15 lengths by Search Results.
I know, but she was forward in there, and
so
the track she faced that day is going to be completely different to the one she faces today.
That's a wet track today.
Yeah, well, it's going to be completely different. That was a deep, tiring track, and now she's going to be getting something completely different.
My problem was I didn't really trust anybody in here. Stand for the Flag is an impossible horse to take. She really just isn't very good. Now, she can win this race by default, but she's just a very hard horse for me to pick. Foxtail, maybe she runs out and wires the field in here. But having said that, how do you trust her in a recent form? But she also has been involved in extremely competitive paces in those races, and I don't think the same thing's going to happen here. So I think she's very dangerous. And had I known you were picking the 10, I would have gone 8-10 in this race and put her on top. I just don't see anyone else
But
winning.
it's like you said, where you going to go?
I'm not going to Kilkea.
We joked about Stand for the Flag last Saturday when we talked about Velvet Crush and the
But Stand for the
off-the-turf
Flag.
race.
But I tell you what, can I bet you a lunch that Stand for the Flag beats Kilkea?
No, you can't. No, not on this track. No, but
Well, you knew it was on this track when you made your picks.
but I did. But that's why I'm not making the lunch bet. I wouldn't make a bet revolving around her because the fact of the matter is this: if Always Late just can't run on the dirt,
Well,
she's supposed to win this race.
Well, she didn't run that badly, Always Late in the dirt. That's one of the reasons I liked her, is she didn't really run that badly. I thought her race was actually okay, and it looked bad on paper, so I thought she might be interesting. Unfortunately, we seem to be picking
But she
the same
needs to move
horse in every
forward off that
race.
race on the dirt. She needs to run better.
Not depends. It depends.
That race makes her competitive. She needs to run better to win.
Yeah, that's fair, but not a lot better.
No.
It's not like Stand for the
But
Flag's
better.
races are very good. It's not like Foxtail's races recently, but Foxtail's the horse to beat in this race, in my opinion. And keep in mind, Stand for the Flag's morning line is based on the race being on the turf.
Right.
Because she was an entry with Classic Lady. I'm mostly 8-10, a little 1-8.
Okay.
Race number 9, I'm sure we agree in race number 9 as well. Why would it be different closing it out on Agreeing Horses Day?
You hate these days.
Well, the show is no good if we sit here and say we like the same
But
horses.
I think it's kind of the same thing, isn't it, Andy? Where are you supposed to go?
No,
are we supposed to just make
I
stuff
don't-
up, right?
I don't agree with that, but okay. When are you posting your Saturday picks so I can make sure we don't have the same picks all day tomorrow?
I'm going to do it when I go home.
Excellent.
They're done. I forgot. I sent them to, we have a tip sheet for the folks coming out tomorrow.
Excellent.
I just forgot to post
Go
it.
ahead.
Again, some of these off-the-turf races, you got to just deal with what you're left with here. She's so naughty. She's going to make her first start on the dirt for Rob Atras. She took over the training, and I mean, she has dirt races in her past. She's won in the mud, and
Got that win at a mile that will probably beat this field.
That's going to beat these horses. I mean, there's nothing. Sweet
Sort of.
Larissa, Sweet Larissa has the 2 wet track races. Now the second race is when she ran off, and
Yeah, I think Sweet Larissa is an interesting horse to talk about because Sweet Larissa, in my opinion, should have been scratched 2 races back.
right, and her form looks dirty because of her 2 races on the wet track, and then she won on the fast track.
Let me just finish. I think Sweet Larissa should have been scratched 2 races back because she ran off without Junior Alvarado, and she didn't run off the extent the horse did here the other day, but she ran off for about 3/16 of a mile. And whether or not there was really any effort given to her in her next start remains to be seen. And clearly, given how she ran her next start and her first start, I think it's fair to say there wasn't. And I think that's one of the reasons these horses need to be scratched. It puts the riders into a tough position, too. Because I think one thing about the riders here, they, as much as anybody, want to protect the horses. They don't want to be in a position
No question
to have
about
done
that.
something that's negative for a horse as well. And it's important to protect the public and the horses. But Sweet Larissa is a horse that ran off and was allowed to run. She only ran off about 3/16 of a mile. But those horses, in my experience, had been scratched in prior times. So I think she's dangerous. 1-12 for me. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
really
nothing
want
else to
anybody
really
else.
say.
Right. Unless Miss
I
Bombastic.
mean, the show. Listen, it's a
somehow-
lot more fun when we don't agree, but the 6 horses left in an off-the-turf race. And,
I almost wonder if Ms. Bombastic is left in hoping somebody claims her. Same with Entwine.
Entwine. I felt that way. It's funny you said that because I felt that way about Entwine.
But why not ride Entwine on the dirt? What do you got to lose? She hasn't shown she can do any running on the turf.
I was driving Miss Ada in today, as I do almost every day,
Well,
and
you're basically running a lift.
I
over
said that
there.
to her. I said, I said, again, along those lines of we run a lot of turf races. I think the other way around that is there's so much money up for grabs, and these fields come up short. You might as well try. I mean,
I couldn't agree
the
more
pot
with
in the
you.
last race today
It's
is
$140,000.
It's $45,000. That's $26,000.
$9,000 for second.
It's $9,000 for second money.
$4,500 for third.
So if you're going to
Maybe
take
a
a
little
shot,
more, right? It's gone up. It's like 12%
12% now. If you're going to take a shot, you might as well take a
5,400.
shot for 28,000,
Pays a lot-
26,000
pays
to
a
the
lot of
winner.
bills.
Pays, it covers you 4 or 5 or 6 months. So
Well, but running second or third covers over a month or
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a pleasure. We got one Talking
was.
Horses left before Saratoga.
At
Of course,
Belmont,
she'll be in
yes.
Saratoga,
Tomorrow.
because I am not here on Sunday.
regular time tomorrow. We have an early post 12:30 on Sunday. Keep that in mind if you're planning your weekend out. Early post 12:30. Acacia will be here with me.
Plan your whole weekend around that.
Well, you
That
want to
means
let
the show
people
will
know
start
Sunday.
at 11.
The show starts at 11,
11.
correct? 10 after 11, something like that. Yeah.
All right. head over to Naira Bets. If you are not a member of Naira Bets, become a member of Naira Bets. Don't do it for us. Do it for a performer. Standing at Claiborne Farm. Not install number 1.
No, that's run happy, my
We
man.
will match to $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Play through Naira Bets. Keep the money in the game and support racing in New York. The handicapping contest, if you're a member of Naira Bets, $3,000 buy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. $10 double bonus. You got to opt in for that.
That's not
That's
performer.
the first race today. Not yet. Not yet. That's the
It's
bonus here on
awe-inspiring.
Friday. Awe-inspiring.
How about that?
Awe-inspiring was second in the Derby, right? Third in the Derby.
Third in the Derby.
Behind Easy Go. He's the entry mate.
Yep.
Amazing they had entries back
All
then.
3
Anyhow,
races, right? They were
head
on?
over to the contest. $3,000. No. Le Voyageur was third in the Belmont.
No, I said
I don't
all
think-
3 races they were together, though. They ran all 3 together.
Oh, really?
I believe on
I
Sparring
don't
was in
think
all
so,
those.
but okay. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. You could be right. You're usually right about those things. I never thought of that, but I didn't. Anyhow, the Derby Challenge, the Belmont Derby Challenge, Belmont Derby and Oaks betting challenge. It's a betting challenge. $3,000 buy-in. Head over to NairaBets.com or Naira.com/contest. Finally, we've got the show. 1 to 5:30 today. That's Friday, July 9th on FS2. Thanks so much for joining us. And finally, may the horse be with you.